So when you look underneath the bottle, it will have a little inscription under the bottom of it. It will tell you the type of bottle. Sometimes it's very tiny so you can hardly see it, but PET is usually written underneath the bottom of the bottles.
This one is much more easier to pronounce, so it's a high density polyethylene.
Alright, so next time, here's a little homework for you. You can do an audit of your bedroom. I'm not even going to tell you to do the entire house. Just look in your bedroom. If you share bedroom with your brother or your sister or cousin, look on the dresser or where you keep certain things. And look at the type of bottles which are made out of plastics. And then I'm going to give you another assignment. Think about, where is it that bottle is going to end up? Is it going to end up in the sea? Is it going to end up in a drain? Is it going to end up in the garbage bin? Maybe sir wants to give us an essay on that one to write the words. So I'm going to paragraph. Alright, no, not giving you any assignment. But think about it. Look around your house. Not the kitchen, not the bathroom, but the place where they sleep, and what bottles they have, what plastic bottles do they have. Is it a plastic? Anyone want to give me an example? Cologne is a plastic bottle, comes out of a plastic bottle. Alright, she said some plastic bottles. Yes, it's at the back. Yes? What bottle will you have in your bedroom? Lotion. Yes, because we all let's make sure that we lotion our skin. Where could that bottle end up when you're finished? Lotion in your skin. So you choose a bottle from your room, from your bedroom at home. Or one last example, but can you tell me what somebody has said? And he says shampoo. So he has shampoo, she has lotion, he has cologne. And these are things that you find right in your bedroom at home.
Let's all work together for a healthy environment. What makes us
Alright, so what is it that you can do to ensure that that shampoo bottle, that lotion bottle, that cologne bottle does not end up on the roadside, in a gully, or in the sea?
Miss.
Alright?
Miss.
Yes, miss?
Miss.
I'm a little hard at hearing it, so you're gonna have to protect your voice a bit. Talk a little louder. You can recycle, alright?
If you have a debate for grade 6, the wax plastic is good for Jamaica. Plastic is not good for Jamaica. I think you have some very strong arguments coming from your grade 6. I think you'd make very good debaters. Your arguments are very good. Illustrations are very good. Clap your classmate.
Anybody can tell me what micro means? Micro, small, plastics. So the idea of microplastics is that and remember that plastics over 400 years, it doesn't break down, it doesn't degrade. So it degrades down to smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller pieces. So it doesn't go away, right? Unlike organic materials, like biodegrade and goes back to the environment. But plastics, it degrades, it breaks down to smaller and smaller and smaller pieces. Actually, it becomes microplastics, and sometimes it's so small that we can't even see it with our eyes. And that's when it is dangerous.
All right, now you all have thoughts. I have one more video to show, but you all have thoughts to share with me, so let me hear them.
Suppose plastic really never existed. If plastic never really existed, that means the microplastics will never be in our waters.
That's true.
Miss, what if them say plastic is not good for the environment? If them say plastic is not good for the environment, and they use metal bottles and so there, things to make out of iron.
So she has a solution here. So he is saying that if we don't use plastic bottles, we can use, he's saying iron bottles, but these are actually reusable bottles, okay?
If them gone, if person never have the time to reuse them.
And that's where I'm going to leave your imagination to work. That sounds like another nice essay.
There's a good thing there's a good thing about plastics and a bad thing about metal bottles. Good thing about the plastics are when you're drinking water, you can see if the water is dirty or not.
All right, so you have a science demonstration here, miss. He says when we put the bottle out in the sun, and he gives his analysis of what he thinks is going to happen when you do that demonstration. And in some areas, you do use plastic bottles in roofs as a form of giving light to a space. I tell you, I like this class. This class has a lot of thinkers. You're all hearing the topic on plastics and you're thinking about it. That's very good.
Miss, when it said 402 degrees, what if you keep on throw more in there and it's still not break down because you keep on put more in there?
So this is a what if question, and it's another thinker's question, because she's saying, but what if you continue to put more? That's what is happening. We're continuing, though it takes 400 years, we are continuing to put more, and it will not be going away. And that's what we do not want to happen, because we want generations to be able to enjoy planet Earth.
So does anybody knows what an order is or a rule?
A rule is when you have to follow it's like a law.
Very good. It's like a law. Give me one rule that you have to abide by. No fighting. Very good. So this rule or this law, or what we call our regulation, is the plastic packaging prohibition order. So the first one was enacted, or we started using that in 2018. Styrofoam are what we call. Very good. So from that order in 2018, there was a rule that there should be no manufacturing of Anybody remember the styrofoam boxes that we used to get lunch from? Right. So there's no more manufacturing and distribution of those boxes. When last did you see a styrofoam box? So the styrofoam, so the plastic straws, the styrofoam, and plastic bags. Anybody remember how we usually use the black plastic bags? So when last have you seen one of those plastic bags? Scandal bag. When last have you seen a scandal bag? Okay, so all right, so our initial order in 2018, a new regulation. Right? So based on the initial ban, we've observed that there were no more styrofoam boxes. But what we started to get lunch in now was other plastics, other single-use plastics, which is just as dangerous because when we eat, we throw it away, and sometimes it ends up in our gullies and it goes into the sea, right? So as of January 9th, 2025, very good, January 9th, 2025, these type of plastic food containers are banned. And this is one of the examples that we do. So we do sensitization sessions. So we go around to the schools, we go around to other agencies, other high schools, and teach about what we do to protect our environment. So that's an example.
So if you do that, do you do it per yearly?
If I do that.
Go around to the schools. Do you do it yearly?
Yearly. Any other questions?
I want you to celebrate your destiny. iron doors. Miss, I think you missed it. So, you're all going to be getting tokens. They will vary. And the most outstanding contributor of today's session, drum roll please, Kawina Smith. You don't think this picture very well? I know. There are different prizes. Each child will get a notebook. As Jeremy just said, I know you have exams coming up, so please tend to disappear. And a book for you to read as well on Marcus Garvey's Titles in Hand Valley. We're going to look at land pollution. In fact, we're going to do a little demonstration for you. But let's first just recap a little, because I know you've done these topics before, but we're just going to revise quickly for you. So when we refer to soil pollution, it's where you have things that don't belong in a particular space. And so it may be a liquid substance, it may be a chemical substance, it may be toxic, but it does not belong in that space. And if you have too much of that thing in that space, sometimes it makes the space become a bit ill, sick, no longer good. And that happens to land when you put things like garbage, plastics, chemicals in the land, on the soil, okay? So let's look at some types of pollutants. On screen, you are seeing plastic pollution, you're seeing garbage dumps, and you're also seeing agriculture. So when farmers spray their crops, you will also have that type as pollution. On screen, we have an image of a beautiful land space, but you have things going off into the air, and that causes air pollution. But when it falls onto the soil, it also causes soil pollution, and that's not good for our environment. We also have, in terms of crops, when the farmers spray the chemicals, and sometimes it's not good for the soil. So the chemicals are usually to kill the insects and that the farmers do not want to eat up their crops, but it makes the soil not very healthy. Have anybody ever seen garbage looking like that before? Unfortunately, yes. Sir? So, when you have, do you know what you're supposed to do with your garbage? If you want, oh, by the way, if you want to speak to me, just raise your hand and I'll call on you. What are you supposed to do with your garbage? She says recycle. Is she correct? Very good. Bag it and put it in the garbage bin. Throw it away where? How? Most times persons tend to want to just throw their garbage as they walk along the street, or from home they just throw it outside or they burn. No. Those are not the responsible ways, okay? All right. So when you have climate change and some of the effects of the climate getting water, the seawater getting increase in temperature, it means that the animals and plants that live underneath the sea, the organisms that live underneath the sea, they don't take that very well. They have to adjust to it, and sometimes they die.
when they die, or we go through a process called oral bleaching, they become very hard and dead. My colleague is showing you. Hold it up, Avoy. This is what a coral looks like. It's a brain coral. So, Avoy, I'm gonna ask you just to pass it along to each child, and you're gonna shadow them with a coral. You can give the smaller one to the children on that side. It's very heavy, children, but I want you to see and feel it as human beings, but it also impacts the eye. Okay? So I'm gonna hold the crocodile until after so we can see, because I know it's getting close to your lunchtime.
Miss Cheryl Figaro, on behalf of the NEPA team here today, we'd like to thank you so much for accommodating us and for let us engage with your students here today. We would like to give you this token, of our appreciation to you. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure for us to be at Clancarty today, and we are going to be speaking to you about ecosystems. We're going to be using mobiles to share our information with you and how they're impacted by climate change and pollution. My name is Ava Tomlinson. I'm the Senior Public Education and Community Outreach Officer at NEPA, and my colleague is Avoy Morgan. Avoy will be taking photographs of you, so I don't want to see certain figures. That's which persons usually do for photographs, because photographs can be shared. All right, so if you also want to speak to me, raise your hand, I'll acknowledge you. All right, so this afternoon we're going to be doing a revision with you. That revision is on ecosystems. Our Jamaican ecosystem has plants, animals, us human beings, and it also has other types of organisms. Today I'm going to share with you some of the species which are protected in Jamaica and how they are being impacted by pollution. There are 4 types of pollution. Do you know them? Okay, yes sir, in the red. Air pollution, yes. Noise pollution. Lady at the back. Water pollution. Sound is the same as noise. And the other one would be land pollution, also referred to as soil pollution. Clap your classmates. Very good. Now that we have that base, what are some of the things that causes pollution? Pollution. Littering, yes, that's correct. Burning of fossil fuels, but more burning of solid waste, which can be garbage around our homes. That causes air pollution. All right, so you have to speak up so everybody hears you.
Burning of waste.
Well, you're repeating what I just said, yes, burning of waste.
Deforestation. Wildfire.
Wildfire, we saw examples of that in California. One more person, yes miss? All right, you're gonna have to project your voice so we can hear you. Greenhouse gas emissions, all right, and that also contributes to the warming of the earth. All right, so what are some of those greenhouse gases? Do you remember? Yes. All right, so classmates, you're gonna have to listen to what your classmates are saying, because if they said something, you don't need to repeat it, okay? So you both gave me the same answer. I can't hear you, sir. Project your voice for me.
Methane. Okay, very good. Some of those are the greenhouse gases. But how are some of these pollutions and pollutants impacting our species here in Jamaica? Let's start with us as human beings. How do you feel sometimes? Oh, I should ask you, miss. I asked you to make a note of the students who are participating, right? Yes, you're gonna need the names of those students. All right, go ahead, sir. Yes, deforestation impact on animals, not just wild animals, but it impacts on us as humans means too, because it means that you're reducing your source of oxygen. And the trees gives us, oh, I love Clancarty, you're on the ball. Yes, when you're cutting down the plants, we're also losing fruit and food trees. I don't need to be teaching the class, they're telling me everything, all right, yes? Hold on, give your friend a chance. You had your hand up. He forgot, continue. So they're speaking to me about overfishing. What happens when persons overfish in the sea and the coastal areas? Yes, I know you know that one, all hands are up, miss. This is revision for them. But let's tell me now, what happens to the turtles when they are exposed to pollution?
Miss, they die.
How do they die? Why? What is the process of them dying? Yes, sir? Okay, so they eat the plastics. But let me something else. Miss, lend me your drink bottle. These are turtles. Have a look, put down your hands. These are turtles. Can you all see the baby turtles? You're gonna get a chance to see them close to school. Students behind the camera, you see how tiny they are? No. You drink this bottle, you throw it on the ground, the rain falls, the drain here in Rollington Town. The baby turtle comes, lays her eggs, and the eggs hatch into the baby turtles. Now the baby turtles are making their way back out to sea. And here is the plastic bottle. Can these baby turtles climb over the the bottles? What do you think will happen to the turtles? They will? Yes, they are stuck because they can't climb over this big bottle. Not quite. The bottle is empty at this point on the coastline. Hold on. Over here. No, over here. Yes, sir. Not out. Yes, what? You will find the species in Jamaica. It tends to live in our forested areas and our woodlands. It is a protected species, and there are some people who like to eat our snakes. As Jamaicans, we don't want anybody to kill or harm or hurt our snakes, because this belongs to our island of Jamaica. So if you go to the United States, you'll find other species of snakes, but you're not gonna find this Jamaican boa snake, okay? You're not gonna find this nanka. It has this beautiful bright color. It's sometimes turning to black. Hold on, hold your thoughts. And so this is one of our protected species that live in our ecosystem. And so it also lives in thick forested areas and under the stone rocks. And human beings, we sometimes impact them negatively, because when we build our roadways, sometimes those are where you'll find their homes. And so when we're drilling in, sometimes you will find the snake, the little tiny ones coming out. And we had examples of those when we were expanding some of our road networks. NEPA had to go in and teach persons how to still live in an environment with them and rescue some of them, and they are not to be sold. Now these species I'm telling you about, if you are caught with the skin the meat or any part of the species or the whole snake, you can be brought before a judge, and under the law the judge is at liberty to have you being arrested for up to 12 months at hard labor in prison, or be charged up to $100,000. Okay? Yes, I see that alarm on your face. Now hold on, there are other species that are very important to us as well. Here's another unique species. This? Not quite so. This is a Jamaican iguana. So if you go to other islands in the Caribbean and other places in the world, you will see iguanas. You'll see the green iguana, but here on our island of Jamaica, the Jamaican iguana is only found here. And so we thought we lost all these animals. It's a lizard, a big lizard. We thought we lost them, but we were able to find, I think, 1 or 2 of them in the Hellshire Hills in St. Catherine, outside Portmore. And we worked with the Hope Zoo partners on the working groups, both international and locally, but this species of iguana and brought them back. They were almost on the verge of extinction for Jamaica. So our work have been able to bring them back. Which is in our ecosystem. It's the American crocodile. Let me hear you say.
American crocodile.
We do not have alligators in Jamaica. We have the American crocodile. There are many species of crocodiles in the world, but you find in Jamaica is the American crocodile. All right, so that's right. Your classmates are familiar with the law as well. So this animal is protected. It is endangered, not dangerous, endangered, and it's also vulnerable. It means it's at risk. So we have, as Jamaicans, have to do what we have to protect it. I saw it just yesterday. My co-workers rescued a 13-foot. That means he's bigger than me. And they took him to a safe area. Oh, I think my classmate there is so traumatized. She's shocked to learn that all of this is happening to her animals, right? All right, she's very distressed by what's happening to the animals. All right, so this animal, you will find it on the coat of arms. Put down your hand. I'll take the questions after. And you will also function in places that we call swamps or wetlands or morass. In such spaces, hold on, in such spaces, that's where they live. So from time to time, and a part of your curriculum is how human beings impact the environment, is that we build houses where they are supposed to live. And so, human beings are interacting with them more. These animals have a very tiny brain, not like us. And so, they don't think like we do as human beings. And so they will see you as food. So we ask persons not to feed the American crocodile. There are some places in Jamaica where you have them where they are fed, and they're specifically those areas like the Black River Safari. All right. Now the other thing about this animal is that it's a scavenger. So if there are dead dogs, the American crocodile will get rid of it. He will eat it because that's his duty. In wetlands, he also burrows. You see how long his body is? He will burrow through the wetland, and he will create waterways through the wetland, particularly for periods when you have drought. So he has a function. He's a cleaner of the environment as well.
Now, what is being done to this animal is that we abuse it. We kill it, we eat it, we use its skin for shoes. So, Jamaica, not allowed to do that. If you're caught with the teeth, if you're caught with any part of the skin, if you're caught with the fish, with the flesh, you will go to the courts, you will be prosecuted, and the law is a fine of up to $100,000 or 12 months at hard labor. Moving on from the American crocodile, change also impact this animal. When the temperature changes, the gender is also impacted. So you will have more males than females. Yes, you do have American crocodiles in places of the world. No, you do have crocodile that lives in Africa. Very hot. But Africa, hold on. Let's talk about another animal. No, students, this animal is called coney, not the monkey. This coney, it's from the rodent family, the rat family, but it's rat. And so it is only found in special in Jamaica. Deep forest of the Blue and Jonquil Mountain, it is threatened, it is endangered, it is vulnerable, and we rarely see this animal anymore. It eats grass as well and fruits. I would hope not. In some similar species, not conies, but they eat them in other islands. No, they are not mongoose. Yes, the coat looks like mongoose. That you are associating, and you are associating with other animals that you're familiar. It looks like it shapes like it, but it's from the rat family. Okay. It eats. I don't know if it eats meat, but I definitely know it eats plants. All right, so let's move on.
Mr. Lawrence, good afternoon. We'd like to thank you on behalf of NEPA for inviting us here and accommodating us and showing us so much support. We want to show our appreciation by giving you this token. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sunanda Smith, the head girl of Clancarthy Primary School, and I would just like to thank NEPA for coming and teaching us about our ecosystem and all of the indigenous animals that we must keep safe and protect. We just want to say thank you.
So students, your teachers have asked us to speak on a topic that you're familiar with, a topic which is a part of your PEP curriculum, your National Schools curriculum, and that topic is pollution. Now, there are 4 types of pollution. I like when the hands go up. They're going to tell me the 4 types of pollution. Let's hear from a boy. No, take your hand from your mouth. Air pollution, is he correct? Clap him. Is she correct? That's right. Soil pollution, there's another word that you usually used to refer to. What's another word for soil? Land pollution. Yes, but I'm going to speak to you about soil today, yes? And there's another one. Something, no, gas is a part of air. No, I'm going to tell you the other one. So far you have told me water, air, soil, but when you listen, What type of pollution can mess with your ears? And the sound contributes to what type of pollution? It starts with an N. Very good. So let me hear that one. So what are the 4 types of pollution? Is that? Good. So when everybody talk at the same time saying different things, it sounds like noise pollution, don't it? Good. So we're not going to demonstrate noise pollution today. And because I realize that Rollington Town primary students are so enthusiastic and you are brilliant students, when you want to tell me something, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand. I might not be able to take it all the time, so I'm asking you to hold on, all right? So this young lady has had her hand up for a while. What is it you want to tell me? She says there's another pollution, and that one is called waste pollution. You are correct, but guess what? Waste pollution can be on land, or it can be in water, or it may be in air. Okay? So, but according to your curriculum, there are 4 that you focus on. That's right. All right, so let's look at soil pollution. I'm going to ask you to pay attention to your monitor. So soil pollution. Here in your community of Allman Town, you have a lot of houses. You don't have big wide lands like those that you have for big farming. Some persons might plant a banana at the back of the house, or they plant a plantain, or you have those lovely delicious mangoes that I know come from Rollington Town. Yes, at the back of your house. Not big farmlands like over here. But some places on our island of Jamaica, we have farmlands as big as these. And so when the chemicals get into the soil and the farmers have to grow, well, we end up having what you told us about. Air pollution, so you can see the pollution going off into the atmosphere. If it gets into the water, then the fish in the water becomes unhappy because they're not going to have enough oxygen and they will die. And so you have something called a fish kill. Have you ever heard that word? Those 2 words? Fish kill. I want you to listen to the news, grade 5. Or sometimes, in some places too, you will have pesticides being thrown away on the ground. And when those pesticides get into the ground and poison the ground, or sometimes adults, we don't have the money to pay somebody to cut the yard, or we don't have the time to cut the yard, and we use something called Roundup, where you spray the yard. Anybody spray the yard at home? Okay, so in your community, you don't have a lot of land space, but in communities where people have more land space around their houses, they build up the house or they spray the ground to get rid of grass. And that sometimes poisons our soil, and you have soil pollution taking place. Now, in your community of Rollington Town, you have mostly houses. But you know anybody who might have rabbits at home? Yes, you do. How about, you know, anybody who might have goats at home? Goat? At home? All right. What about cows? Anybody have cows at home? In your community? You have big cows at home? All right. Okay. Or sometime you might go to another parish on holiday and you see goats and you see cows. Right. Now, those are farms. Some persons who are farmers who have large farms, they will have animals. They will have animals on their farm. And sometimes if they do in the process of cleaning their farm, they might use the manure. The manure tends to be good for the soil. But when it comes to things like chemicals that they use to clean, like the pig pen, well, fertilizers for crops, if those chemicals aren't treated properly and they get into the soil, you can also have pollution of the soil. Okay, so farmers can pollute the soil, and we as human beings can also contribute to the pollution of the soil, all right? Good. So let's continue. Let's see what's happening in Jamaica. There is a garbage heap. Let's go back to that image. Anybody has ever seen a garbage heap like that before in their lifetime? At least half of the class have seen a garbage heap like that. But how can we stop that kind of garbage heap? I am going to share the word with you called, let's start with C, that says composting. Have you ever heard of that word? Yeah, who wants to tell me what you know about composting? Oh, you see everybody at the back nodding? They have given you their approval. So guess what, miss? I'm gonna ask you to relay the information so the entire class can hear.
What you just said, that when you use food items, leftovers, and then a container, it breaks down and it can give money.
You are so correct. Very good. I like the students of this class. You support each other. Very good. That's right. So at home, when you're cooking, when mommy's cooking, daddy's cooking, uncle or cousin is cooking, you can share with them. You don't have to throw out everything. You can keep, when you peel the banana, or you peel the sweet potato, or you peel, what else you peel when you cook? Which other food item? Huh? Potato or yam, oranges, right. So cassava, when you have the peel or the skin of those food items, you can keep them, put them in a little bucket, and you have to keep churning it over a period of time. Some people put red worms in them to help with that process, and it becomes soil after a period of time. And she's correct when she said the trash, because in Jamaica we like to keep our house, our space clean, and you have a lot of big trees here in Rollington Town, big mango trees. So when the trash fall, the leaves fall and turn trash, people like to rake them up. So when you rake them up, don't burn them. People like to burn as well, but don't burn them. You can put them in the bucket, or if you have enough space in the backyard to dig a hole, mix it with the soil, and that becomes composting and very healthy for you to plant things in. Hold your thought. So instead of you having a big garbage heap with lots of good organic material going to waste, we will reduce that. And instead of you throwing away the garbage on the road, or say just putting the garbage and waiting on the garbage truck to come, no, you do it more responsibly. You make sure it is contained, you tie it up, you don't necessarily put it on the ground because the dogs like to run around and tear up the bags and so on, all right? So we're gonna move on from soil pollution quickly to another form of pollution, because I have other things that you're going to like. So this is Kingston Harbor. This is our Kingston Harbor, you know. When we don't dispose of our solid waste or garbage in Rollington Town properly, it goes through the drains, and Kingston has 26 drains, and it ends up right on the harbor. So let's talk about another pollutant, which is choking our environment, getting into our human body, and really creating a havoc. Because right here in Kingston, along the Palisades, we have turtles that they come and they nest and lay their eggs. And I'm gonna show you what the turtles look like, because the turtles are, when they're babies, they are so small. And I'm gonna show you a demonstration. So as we get the turtle, lend me that cup again. I'm gonna ask our boy to hold it up. No, hold it to the top. All right. Have a seat. Have a seat. Hold on before you tell. I'm not gonna take any comments now. You have to be very white. And look, in this bottle are 2 baby turtles. This is how small the turtles are when they are born. Imagine, and I want you to put on your imaginative caps now. A little baby turtle like this trying to crawl over a cup like this. Can the baby turtle crawl over the cup like this? Then imagine if the baby turtles are trying to climb over a plastic container like this. Can they climb over it? That's right. And that's why you and I have to be more responsible how we dispose of our solid waste. In a little while, I will allow you to see the turtles more up close, but not right now. And by the way, hold on, Avoy. These turtles are not the ones that you have at home in your aquarium. These are the turtles that are born on our coastline at Palisados. These are the turtles that are born in the sand, and as your classmates say, they have to make their way back out to sea, okay? So these are not your pet turtles. These are marine turtles. All right, so let's continue now. Let's talk about plastic pollution some more. Yeah, they are dead. They're kept in a solution to keep them looking like this. So these are, I know I've had them since 2008. All right, before you were born. Okay, let's go now, students. Let's get back to the topic of pollution in another way. Let's look at, everybody still with me? Let's talk about plastic pollution. Now, may start to tell me what they know about plastics. And so I'm gonna allow you to watch a video before your question, and let's look at how the types of plastics that we have. As human beings, we also use the beach. Anybody here has never been to the beach? You have never been to the beach. That means you have never touched sand, and you have never been to the beach. All right, at some point in the future, I know that at some point in the future, you will have an opportunity to go to the beach. Now, I'm gonna ask you all to listen carefully, and let's have a look at this video.
A day at the beach can be a vibe, but the vibes broke when we don't dispose of our garbage properly. It's just a mash up for beach life, for wildlife, and the economy. We do beach cleanups to spruce up the place. It's our last chance to tackle this garbage problem, where the main culprit is plastic. Luckily, some plastics can be recycled and even earn you a few bucks. In Jamaica, we collect 2 types of plastics for recycling. Type 1, these are your water, soda and juice bottles, cooking oil bottles and other similar types. And type 2, harder plastics like shampoo, conditioner, soap bottles and other personal care products. By doing beach cleanups and collecting recyclable plastics, you can do your part to keep our island clean. Let's all work together for a healthy environment. So please, not dirty up Jamaica.
So there are 2 types of bottles that you'll find in Jamaica. One is a PET bottle. It may be PET or PETE. Now, how do you know what type of bottle you're looking at? You look at the bottom of it, and you'll see the liquid. You may or may not see liquid in it, but you'll see a little print on the bottom of it, okay? Some are no bottles are very tiny, so you tend not to find them, okay? All right, so look at the bottom of your bottle. Turn it around to the class. Okay, that's my student doing my demonstration. Look at the bottom of it. Do you see anything written in it? All right, so they haven't put it at the bottom of it, but because it's so small, you're not seeing it. No, it's not under the cover. It's usually at the bottom of it. Okay, so here's my challenge to you, grade 5. When you go home, look in your bedroom. Look for the bottle that you might have in your bedroom. Anybody want to tell me what kind of bottles you have in your bedroom? Perfume bottle, water bottle. You know what I like? I like when students take information and they immediately assimilate the information and see what it is that they can find. So you don't even have to reach until you reach home. You're seeing the symbol, the recyclable symbol, and you are seeing P, I'm not wearing my glasses. Yes, it's actually PE, which is written on this. All right, so you're gonna say PE, PET, PETE. All right, let's continue. Or you may see HDPE. No, I'm not gonna try and pronounce the words, but these tend to be the thicker type of bottles, okay? So when you go home, your personal homework, be observant, look in your personal space. What type of bottle are you seeing? What is written underneath it, okay? And some of them will come with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, sir. Yes, so she was sharing with us that it makes it easier for us to hold things. All right, hold liquids, hold on. Most of the things, plastic was supposed to help us with movement. Plastics, if you lose your hand, now you can have a hand made out of plastic. If you look around, most of the things in this room is made out of plastic. Which wants to stay on the ground is made out of plastic, right? Yes? Okay, so let's continue because students, I want you to be thinkers. You're not just but thinking, all right?
What would Jamaica look like without plastic garbage on the street?
Welcome to a plastic-free paradise.
How do you make Jamaica a plastic-free paradise?
Well, all of us are part of the solution. Government, businesses, and individuals, including children. All of we have to work together to refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Businesses need to stop using so much plastic. Invest in using environmental friendly alternatives. We have to use less plastic. This means plastic bans are important, but they have to be enforced. If you broke the law, you have to pay. After all, this is our country, our environment. All of we have to care. Reuse plastics where you can. And finally, individuals need to recycle. In our way, it's possible to stop using plastics altogether, but we have to try. In the end, there will be less plastic to pollute our environment and protect our health, leading to healthier lives and a thriving ocean.
Thank you, Green Chat.
Tell me what you learned from this video you just watched. Plastic helps us in a lot of ways. Give me one way. She's going to talk about it some more. Guess what? I tell you what, students, the fan is on, so I'm not hearing so well. So pretend that I am not a visitor from NEPA. Pretend you're talking to your friend and just project your voice a little bit more. Hold on, remember my question to you now, what is it that you learned from the video you just saw? Where to keep the community clean. How can you keep the community clean? By not throwing away your plastic. Very good. That gentleman at the back, you had your hand up earlier. What did you learn from the video? He learned that Jamaica can be a better place if we keep it more clean. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. And And she says she learned that we are to reuse and recycle plastic. Our human activities impact this planet. As much as we're just one small human being here on the island of Jamaica, and there are many other countries in the world which are bigger than us and make a greater impact on the impact on the environment, but each in our small corner can help with the conserving of energy and conserving of fossil fuels. And I know you know about fossil fuels, especially my grade 5 and my grade 6, because you'd have touched on that topic already, right? But here on our island of Jamaica, in order for us to generate electricity, for us to have these fans cooling us down today, we use what is called fossil fuel. And so when you go home, you can plug out the fan when you're not using it, plug out your cell phone when you're not charging it, or your tablet, as well as you can encourage your family members to turn off the lights, so that you can help mommy to save on the light bill, or daddy to save on the cost of electricity. But at the same time, you're helping to save the planet in your small way. Can I challenge Alberta to do that? Yes. Clap yourselves for that commitment. Now we are going to go through a climate change exercise. And what you're seeing on that screen is a barometer. So you have that round face looking like a clock, but that's a special type of measurement that tells you about the weather, the barometer. And then you also have something relating to planting, and I see a black tank there, and we also have a depiction of the marine environment. So now, grade 4, I'm going to give you the task of reading as the barometer. So grade 4 will be the barometer, and grade 5, I'm going to ask you to be the lady. Grade 6, you're going to be the gentleman. All right, yes, all senior roles. All right, can you all hear me at the back? Good, I'm going to project my voice, okay? So let's get started. And that's Barry, and he's speaking to this lady and gentleman. So let's hear what they're going to say. At grade 4. Let's do that one again. That was just your eyes becoming familiar with the screen. Let's do it together. Man, Barry, the barometer, climate change, me a holler. All right, grade 6. Grade 4. No, I am a barometer. I can tell you what the pressure is in the air. So now you know what a barometer does, right? Grade 6. Let's hear that again, grade 6. So the list says, ear have pressure. So Barry says, grade 4, what is Barry saying? Yes, and when it drop, this lever show you careful, I don't come cheap. So he's saying the lever is what is going to tell you the air pressure when it falls. All right. The man says, grade 4. And do you see the expression on Barry's face? And the gentleman, they have that expression that say, what's going to happen? So climate change is affecting our weather. Time hotter, water lesser, storm badder. Let's continue. Grade 4. understand, it never used to be so hot. Is climate change causing? What's up with you and this climate change thing? Any change, I go on, I have to know about it. And that's what the lady says. And the gentleman looks quite puzzled. Then Barry can we stay focused here? Over enough years for change, I take time change. Over enough years the time climate take time change. And that affects the weather. So Barry is explaining to them that over a period of time, we have been seeing the changes, all right, in our climate. And the lady responds, who's the lady? Grade 6? A true. Me never even have to draw for my comforter. Right. So she says last year she had to use her comforter in her bed because she was so cold. Yes. And the lady continues to say, let's hear again, grade 6. Oh, so you mean like how the storm them I get better? What does it mean by the storm is getting better, grade 6? What does it mean? Do you experience flooding too? Do you experience flooding? That's right. So the lady is actually saying that the storms are getting worse. So here's another setting. The other setting is now the lady and gentleman is at home. Do you see in this picture what is happening? What is the gentleman doing? Can somebody tell me? He is actually putting hope onto the water tank. Whoa! Good job! Barry, mind how you sneak up on people, you know? You're catching up your rainwater. I'm making sure I prepared just like what you tell me. Yeah, man! Cause weather get worse because of climate change. See, this is the gutter. Look around your school if you have gutters on your building too, or you can look around at home to see if you have gutters on your building at home. And here's what he says. See, this is the gutter, and when rain falls, the water goes into the pipe. So the water is no longer being wasted. He is actually fetching water. He's actually harvesting water through the pipes from the rain when the rain falls. Are we on the same page, grade 4, 5, and 6? Okay, let's hear now what's happening here. Here is a pipe, and there's somewhat looking like a basket, he says. And I rig up a little filter system to keep out leaves and ink. When he catches the water from the roof and it runs through the gutter, he has a filtering system right here. Can you see that, everybody? So it means that if leaves fall into the gutter, or if insects fall into the gutter, all of the water will rush down with those insects and leaves, but he will catch that water, catch the filter, will catch it before it goes until he uses it. Let's see what else is happening. So now you can use this for anything like washing cars, clean off the carport, or to Jerome, where the water for the callaloo. The lady is now calling out to Jerome. Now we know the man's name. The man's name is Jerome. And so he's calling out to Jerome to say, yes, give me some of this water that you are just harvesting so that we can reuse the water. Everybody hearing me better now? All right, very good. And Barry is so happy about this. The barometer is very happy. He says, good thing we prepare, because now that they are planting, they need water. And all the water that is going to fall during the rainy period, they will now be able to collect that water. And that is just how you can do small item activities at home. Your parents, you can advise your parents to say, we can now catch water at home during rainy periods so that we can reuse it for other purposes. What are some of the purposes that you can reuse that water for? No, that water is not for cooking. Plant crops, very good. Gentlemen, very good. Washing cars. Those were two of the examples that we got. All right, what examples can you think of? All right, awesome. Thank you very much, students. Let's read what it says at the bottom. It says, it's better to be ready than to be sorry. To harvesting. Wonderful. So they have given us examples of how we can use water. So with the increase, as he said, there is an increase in rainfall. There's increase in flood, but you are learning how you can harvest that water, okay? Now this time they are on a hillside, and Barry is saying, this didn't look so high from below. And the farmer is saying, what happened to you? You all right? It's me, man, Barry. And the farmer says, oh, is you always a talk about climate change? Don't. And Barry says, well, let me show you something. And the farmer says, you see that? The farmer says, let me show you something. The whole of the hillside washed away with me crops in the wicked breeze blow and rain last week. Let's find out what we can do. According to Barry, he says, let me show you what you can do. And so they go all up. Now, in this picture, particularly grades 5 and 6, when you learn about terracing, if you notice, the land, you would refer to that as a highland in your book, right? For your geography, your social studies class, right? But the land is prepared in such a way that you have contouring around it. And this is what is referred to as terracing, okay? Are you seeing it grade 6? It's not a stranger to you because I know you've been doing that from grade 5, right? He says, just like Mr. Jerry, you can put in terracing. So where you have a slope, you can cut the land in such a way that you can, like steps, but much more than steps, so you can, and you can break your water force. He says, and protect your crops. So Barry's explaining, and actually put barriers. In Jamaica, we plant pineapples as barriers for some crops. Some areas we plant corns as barriers for some crops. And it says, the lady says, well, I'm going to have to do this to feed me. And Barry's sitting on the log, and he says, on the side of the tree, he says, protect your assets. And you can know that because you can see the boat, the fisherman's boat, you can see the lady with fish, and you can see the sea. So what is happening here? Barry now goes to the beach to speak to the fisher folk and the fish vendors. Here they are at the beach, and here's you see how colorful the sea is here? Think of when you used to watch SpongeBob SquarePants. Right, and his home was always very colorful. So SpongeBob is a type of coral. So the coral, when the coral is exposed to the hot temperature, the hot water, it's referred to as coral bleaching. And sometimes they develop diseases, and so they will die. When they die, they turn to the color white. So you are both looking at white corals, or white brain corals, which are now dead. All right, let's continue. It says, that's why we have no fishing zones called fish sanctuaries, so fish population can grow. So in Jamaica, we actually have areas along our coastal waters, for example, Galleon Harbor, or on the north coast, we have Boscobel. These are areas where fish sanctuaries, where you and I are not allowed to go and fish. The fisherman cannot go and fish. The fish lives happily in that space. There are nurseries for the fish, and they can multiply